Hey everyone, and welcome back. So we have retrieved the wallet successfully. Right now, we just want to make some adjustments and create some DTOs to retrieve to the clients the full response and not the test that we have done. Before doing that, I've actually missed some properties over here, which is the creation date, and the creation date is going to be something like that. Okay. Here we go, and define the time zone and the stuff like that. And the modification date. We have it available for us in the timestamp in this property, but having a clear one that's easy to query and stuff like that is easier. So I'm going to head, first of all, let me put a good value, not this one, 17. Okay, and now let's hit update. I'm going to take this and also add it to this one. And hit update. Great, so right now we have it. Let's go back to our project, open the server, data models, wallet, and in the wallet, let's add public date time, creation date, and public date time, modification date. Great, so this is the one that we have. So right now we have those. So let's run the project one more time before creating the DTOs and the responses. So we can move on to the next task, which is creating a wallet. In the meantime, I'll open up Postman. So here we go, it's running right now. Let's hit send and see what's it's going to retrieve for us. Here we have a breakpoint. Let's move on from it. Okay, we got an internal server error that says couldn't convert string to date time. Yeah, I think. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, this is actually writing the date times in the standards time zones is in the ISO standard is hard, but I think hours, minutes, seconds. Okay, that we go. We have to do the same for this one. We missed the seconds. Those are actually the fractions, basically, of a second. If you are wondering what are those zeros that are available. So right now, if we update and hit send, and here we go, we got them successfully. That's good. So we got the creation date, the modification date, and all the things that we want. That's very good. So, but when we want to retrieve that to the client, we want to create a DTO that actually just represent the data that we want to that the client needs. We don't need the user ID, for example, and we don't need. We have here type name and type, which is the enum. Type name is the string that's available for us over here, type, which is being transferred to enum. So either we retrieve this or retrieve the enum. And sometimes, even if the property that you need in the client is the same for the models, you should create a DTO. The reason why is because the DTOs, that your models should always stay on the server and should be used only in your business logic and to store and retrieve data from the database. And when you're dealing with a client, you should always think about creating DTOs, even if the model gets repeated 100% the same, which is not always going to happen, but even in that case, it's okay. Create that DTO one more time. So before creating that DTOs, we have here responses. This folder, we are going to store the responses of the API, because here, if you notice, we are just retrieving the wallets as they are, which is, I don't like this shape, because if you notice, we are just retrieving a list. I would always prefer to have an object that contains the date, the status of the request, a message, and then it holds the records. So let's go ahead and create that one. I will add class, choose C#, let's call it API response, just like that. Very good. Let's add this, which is giving a better look. Make it public. And this API response, it is going to contain a message, date time, of course. Don't forget the nullable operator, because I'm enabling nullable of the C#. And over here we have the records, which is basically a list of something. Call it record, not a record, sorry, record. So what is the type of this? Actually, we don't know. The type is always different. Sometimes it's going to be wallet, sometimes it's going to be transaction, so it depends. So I'm going to use some generic over here. So as you can see here, we have this T, and I'm going to put this T over here and make it nullable as well, because it could be null. And the last thing is we are going to have public class, public pool is success, which means if it indicates if this one is successful or no. So this is the API response. We are going to have two API response, one for success and one for error. So this one, the general, let's use some inheritance to improve that. So basically I'm going to create public class API error response. So from this one, I'm going to inherit from API response. And what I'll be doing, I don't need actually the T record, because in the error, it's an error, so you don't have any type. So what I'm going to do is to create also another class, success response. I'm going to inherit from this one, pass T. I'll make this one take T. Sorry, I'm not going to pass anything. Then I'll remove this from over here and remove this, put that over here. So in that case, this one and this one both has those properties, but this one contains this record as well, while this one just contains nothing. So I'm going to create a constructor that's setting the is success to basically, I'm going to make this one private set. So basically false, just like that. And for this one, I'm going to create a constructor that sets this success to true. I'm going to create another one that takes this, and I'm going to create one more that takes this plus a string, and I'm going to make one message equals message, and I'm going to make one more that sets only the message. Okay, tap string message equals message. Very good. So basically here it's going to be the same, exactly the same thing. So we need one to take only the message, and for every one of those we need to call this one. So basically we have the is success true, so I'm going to make this for all of that. Very good, very good. And same happened for this. When you call this, that means this one will be called and the success will be set to false. So very good. Let's move each one of those to its own folder. Sorry, its own file. Okay, very good. So right now we have created their responses, and they are working. They should be working very well, and it's something that's basically easy. The other thing, oh, it looks like we missed something important, which is setting the date time. The response date. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going to the API error response, set response date to datetime.utc now, and I'll add it to the other file. Sorry. Great. So right now, those are the same responses that will be used across all the application. Whenever we want to use any of the endpoints, all the functions is going to retrieve the same object, but each one is going to contain some stuff. So let's improve that before creating the DTOs of this to retrieve that kind of object. So I'm going to say new API success response. Okay, tracker.shared.responses, that's right. Let's add this. Very good. So right now it will ask me for a type, but I'm going to define that directly. So I'm going to type wallets.count have been found, have been retrieved. Okay, let's use system.link, and the other property is the wallet itself. So when you define the wallets, basically this one will be defined as well. We have a problem. Yeah, we need to translate that to so instead of making it like this, I'll make it an marble of type T. That's better. Yeah, do not translate every time for. Okay, still have this. Okay, we have a message. Okay, let's remove this because this one is not going to be null basically. Let's check. Sorry. You have to close this app because we have the shortcut shift control space, and it shows you basically the parameters that you see over here. And the problem is that we have, it says, okay, wallet. It is of type wallet. Come on. Okay, here we go. Sorry. So let's run the project to see. Okay, it's running. Let's hit send. Here we go. So look at the difference right now. Here it's not retrieving an array and sometimes an object. It's always an object and always the same type. Here we have a record, and the record contains the success true. 2 wallets have been retrieved, and we have a response date. So this is much better than just retrieving them flat. This always gives the client of your project, especially if you are using. So the first benefit that you have is always all your API responses are unified. This is the first thing. The second advantage, if an developer, like you're not the same developer who's built the API, like the clients of your API is going to feel more comfortable with having there is a message and there is a clear indicator that says the success. I know that you can indicate it from over here, but sometimes it's good that you make the object, the body is very readable and contains everything that you want. So basically right now we are good. We have created the responses. Right now the next step is to go ahead and create the DTOs of the wallet that we are going to use to retrieve the wallets using a DTO instead of just retrieving the model as it is that's coming from the object, because the models, as we have said, they are going to stay on the server and the shared will be existing in the client in the .NET MAUI project. And in this case, the models will stay safe and always on the server. We can add and remove stuff without affecting the client at all. So this is it for this session, and see you in the next one.